Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ritchie, president of the Functional Aging Institute, and really excited to have Lori Kennedy on with us. I was fortunate enough to speak at Lori's Wellness Business Summit in February. And if you were not there in Toronto, my key takeaway is Canadians need to get busy making babies, which most of them chuckled at. But the aging phenomenon in Canada is even much more so than it is in the U.S. So that was pretty interesting. So I've known Lori for about 5 years now through some fitness business masterminds that we've been in and high-level coaching programs, and we've both shared the stage at some big events. And I know Lori is going to bring great value to you today. She's going to be sharing on developing profitable small group programs. So I'm going to hand the controls over to her so she can show you her PowerPoint and share her screen. Go ahead and bring your comments and questions in as we go. I will moderate those for you, Lori, and if somebody asks a burning question, we should stop and
Sure.
pause. I'll interrupt. Otherwise, we'll do Q&A at the end. So thank you, Lori. Take it away.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. So happy to be here, and thanks so much, Dan, for the introduction. So I'm going to give you a bit of a preview on how to create your signature program in 30 days or less. And I have a bunch of slides, but I also want to take you into Amazon. And I want to take you into Amazon because I want to show you how easy it is to test your idea using Amazon and Kindle books. So before I jump in and get started, Dan, I'm going to ask you to help me out with the comments here. So for those of you on the call today, let me know if you guys have an idea for a group program that you can either run online or offline. If you have an idea, just type yes into the comments, just so I can get an understanding of who already has ideas or who's just sort of, floating around the idea. Is there comments?
I will let you know when there are. So
Okay,
they're probably
perfect.
typing. They're either thinking or typing away. They didn't realize there was some
Oh,
work. So but I'll let you.
yes.
I'll let you know when they come in.
I like to get my webinar attendees engaged, and I ask a lot of questions. So if you're multitasking, then I suggest shutting off Facebook. I suggest shutting off your phone. The content that I'm going to go through today, and also the test, the litmus test to see if your idea will sell, could really potentially help you bring in another revenue stream into your business. So I'll tell you a little bit about who I am in a minute.
Well, here's a couple.
But
Here's a couple that have
oh,
come in, Lori. So Tracy says managing menopause through movement.
yeah.
Ken said yes. I asked him to give us a little more info on that. So far, so far, a couple people.
Okay, awesome. Oh, I can see the comments too. Okay, here we go. Awesome. Okay, wonderful. So the question that I was plagued with as I grew my first personal training business, I was a trainer. I became a personal trainer in 1999 through the YMCA, and I did personal training all throughout university. But um, more than in personal training, when I started to grow my nutrition business, the question very quickly became for me, how do I work less hours, make more money, and have massive impact in the world? And I assume that you're on this webinar, that you're in Dr. Dan's world. I hope that you're coming to the Functional Aging Institute Summit, and we can hang out and chat there as well. But I assume that you got into this industry because you wanted to have a massive impact, and probably just like me, becoming a gajillionaire wasn't first on your list, right? Having a six-figure this or a seven-figure that probably wasn't even in your perspective. You have a passion for working with clients and you want to create an impact in your community. But like me, I'm going to assume that you very quickly realized, yeah, fewer hours. Janice says fewer hours. You very quickly realized that working one-to-one with clients, cuts you off from making the gajillion dollars, whatever that number is for you that you want to make in a year. We really are trading dollars for hours. And I'm not going to get into this whole thing about trading dollars for hours, but I learned very quickly that having a group program first enabled me to stop repeating myself over and over and over again, and second, it allowed me to really scale and maximize my hours per earning potential. I had my nutrition practice in a gym, which I'll share a little bit more about in a minute, but seeing clients one-on-one left me feeling super drained, and I needed to generate more revenue for the gym, and at the same time I didn't want to work as many hours. At that point in my life I had a 6-month-old daughter, and she went into the babysitting during the time that I was seeing my clients, and my mom came and watched her in the mornings, and then I left her with my husband at that point, and I just felt like I was running ragged. And so really, at the end of the day, I'm going to assume that what we want is to be able to give back to our communities in the form of charity work, donating money, being able to travel, and not necessarily having a laptop lifestyle, because if you have children, that just doesn't exist, but being able to at least travel at certain times of the year and taking some real time off from your business. One of my visions and my goals in the next 5 years is to have a lakefront cottage and to be able to take my kids and do fun things with them whenever I want. And I couldn't really do that when I was, seeing clients one-on-one. And then I came to realize that I didn't know what I didn't know. And, whether you're a personal trainer or a physio or like me, a nutritionist, or if you're a health coach, we were all taught to work with clients on a one-to-one basis. It was never taught to us to create a program that could be facilitated in a small group or even in a large group, because so much of what we do is prescriptive and personalized. It's really hard to wrap our head around creating programs for 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12 people at a time, where you're seeing those 12 people, they're creating a community, they become friends, they support each other, and you're really maximizing, your time and what you do. And so my first big mistake that turned into a learning lesson when I graduated from nutrition school was that I went and did what I was told to do. And you might not be a nutritionist listening to this, but the moral of this story is that I followed the inside of the box instructions. I followed what the, profession told me to do, and it blew up in my face. I was in debt. I couldn't get clients to save my life. Don't know why. It never occurred to me to maybe read a book on sales or marketing perhaps, or ask for help. I didn't even know I was running a business. I was just a nutritionist, and I thought that everyone should want to know the information that I had, because I thought that everyone wants to make lifestyle changes, and we know that that is not true. And so the first step in the right direction for me was really taking a page actually out of the personal training book and seeing how they sold clients and seeing the small group personal training. And actually it was group fitness that really sparked the idea to take my one-to-one program and transform it into a group model. Now, I just want to ask a quick question. Who here in their day-to-day feels like they repeat themselves a lot? Does anybody here feel like just at any point throughout the day, doesn't matter what kind of clients you have, but do you feel like you're repeating yourself? Okay, so Brett says sure. Yeah, it's really challenging, and for me, I'm going to be totally honest, I got bored, right? There's only so many times you can describe the proper form for a squat until you are doing it in your sleep, right? Or how to breathe properly, or how to contract your abdominal muscles into the floor, right? There's only so many times you can do that. Janice says yes. So I took a page out of the group fitness model and said, okay, how can I get people with the same symptoms, the same goals, the same sort of starting point in a group so that I can teach them the same thing at the same time? And maybe you already run group fitness programs, but you can take this one level deeper, and if you want to have it online, great, but there are other ways to bring back, let's say, missing in action clients. There's ways to put people who necessarily couldn't afford training, one-on-one training, into small groups. I know that small group personal training is not a new phenomenon, but when you can take people and put them into groups that are specific for their niche, that are specific for their starting points, and either facilitate them online or offline, it really can change your life. It'll give you more time freedom. So I became obsessed with running more groups, and as my business grew, I was then able to hire nutritionists underneath me that I then taught my signature program and got them, you know, clients and gigs at other gyms. And so basically I paid them and they went and facilitated the program for me. You can't do that if you're just one-offing it with clients. The whole reason that I was able to grow my business that way was because I had one signature program with a very streamlined process of how to sell clients, onboard clients, follow up with clients, and facilitate this entire process, so that I was able to take time off and I was able to scale my business without having to be the one to actually teach it, which is awesome. So this is when I made my no plan B decision, and this isn't the actual picture that I snapped in May of 2011 when I decided for myself that I was no longer going to live the way that I was living. So at that point I had my program in 9 gyms. I had other nutritionists facilitating for me, and you would think that that's amazing, except that it was still, you know, it was still stressful. I was still seeing clients one-on-one. I still had my own groups, and I said I was going to figure out a way to really scale my business even more than I already had. And so I'll just throw this out there, that the same old thinking gets you the same old results. Whatever inside the box thinking we were taught, because of technology, because of social media, because of the way that the internet opens up all barriers and all borders, I wanted to learn how to take my programs and run them online. And so I didn't do it at first in the traditional sense, in terms of the way that maybe you buy some fitness programs now or you've seen them sold. I ran it live, and that's how I taught people to run their own programs. And maybe you have an idea. So somebody put here that managing menopause through movement, right? And so when you think about what it's going to take to create that kind of program, there's always steps involved, right? It's like a protocol. It's a system. What are you going to do with those women first, second, third, fourth, and fifth in order to get them the results that you promised them, basically? And because I learned how to create programs for different niches as a group program and not as a one-off, you know, prescriptive program, I was able to then partner with some pretty awesome people. Some of you might know the guy in the upper left right-hand corner, in the upper right-hand corner, his name's Craig Valentine. And actually the guy on the left-hand side in the bottom is named Hal Elrod, and he wrote this amazing book called The Miracle Morning. And I've been able to partner with some really cool people because I understood how to create a scalable program with these protocol-based steps, so that anyone with that particular problem could engage with the material and basically follow the steps so that they would get results without me having to physically instruct them. And so I was able to do that because I answered this question. Okay, so it's the #1 question to ask and answer so that your program sells itself. And this will help you sell basically anything, but first and foremost in having to sell your program. What is the value? So in terms of this managing menopause through movement idea that Tracy has, which is a great idea, but what's the value to the clients? What is the outcome? What is the transformation? So most of the time we say, okay, well, you're going to not be so sore, and you're going to build lean muscle mass, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. That's fine, but that's not what's going to entice people, motivate them to say yes on the spot to you. And the best way that I can explain it is by using this example. So this is a picture of these two people in Hawaii, and this is a picture of a plane. Now, if I said to you, do you want to go to Hawaii? I have a free ticket. Who would say yes? First of all, who would say yes? Who wants to go to Hawaii? Just type yes in the chat. If you want to go eventually, if Hawaii is on your bucket list or whatever. So yes. So Tracy says yes. Brett says, oh yeah. Okay. So Dan, do you want to go to Hawaii? Have you ever been to Hawaii?
Yeah, I'll go. I'm in.
Okay. So Dan, let me ask you this. If I said to you, I'm going to take you to Hawaii, would you think to even ask me what kind of plane we would be flying on?
No.
Do you care about the plane?
I probably wouldn't give it much thought since we'd probably get on a plane that works. So.
Right, exactly. Okay. So the problem that most people have when it comes to selling a group program is that they focus on the plane. The plane is the features. It's the weekly training sessions. It's the emails. It's the Facebook group. It's the PDFs. It's the videos. If you're trying to sell Hawaii, which is the outcome, it's the transformation, no one cares what the plane is, right? So before you even get into, well, how many weeks is my program, and what should I sell it for, and how many videos should I include, and what PDF should I include, and who's going to buy it, and how do I facilitate it? Before you get into all of that, you have to get crystal clear on communicating the feeling of Hawaii, right? It's the outcome. It's the transformation. It's how is the menopausal woman going to feel about her life, about herself, about her body, how empowered is she going to feel, how confident is she going to feel after she does your program. What is the transformation that you are inviting these people into? And the big mistake that people make when they say, oh my gosh, I have this amazing idea, either they're going to run this program online or they're going to run it offline, and they start telling me, you know, it's going to include this and that and the other thing, and I'm like, that's amazing. Tell me what the outcome is for the client. In 30 seconds or less, give me an emotionally charged outcome that that client is going to say, I don't care how much it costs, save my spot. Right? And I think we lose sight of Hawaii because we are so scientifically inclined and we focus way too much on the features, the weekly calls, the Facebook groups, all that stuff. So before you get into the nitty-gritty of creating your program content, I want you to sit down and brainstorm at least 10 ways that your program, regardless of how many weekly calls it is or the Facebook group or how many sessions, 10 very inspiring, very exciting, very emotionally charged outcomes that are going to resonate with the client so that they fully understand how your program is going to change their life. So you need to do it in their own words. And the example that I give the people in my community is like one of the features that most people say when we're at least talking about nutrition is, you know, it's going to help you not feel bloated. And I'm like, well, fine, but that's okay. That's like, do you want an aisle or an end seat? Like, whatever, right? Like, just sit down. So, but if you say this program's going to help you not feel bloated so that when you put on your jeans and you easily zip up that button, you don't feel like you're pregnant when you're not pregnant, and you're not embarrassed to wear the clothes that you actually want to wear because your belly isn't so bloated. So you're going to feel way more confident when you walk into the room or when you socialize, versus just you're going to feel more bloated, right? Like something that it would happen in the fitness world would be like, oh, this program is going to help you to reduce your joint pain. Great. But what's Hawaii, right? Hawaii would be, it's going to help you to reduce your joint pain so that you can get up off the floor without support and not wince in pain and not have to take a breath and feel like you were 25 again, right? You have to describe how the features of the program are going to actually transform the client's life. So I hope that that makes sense to you, because this is one of the hardest parts of creating a program, is actually coming up with the transformational outcome. Some people want to call it the hook, but it's the outcome that's going to remove all price objections, right? All buying decisions are emotional, and if you can sell Hawaii instead of the plane, I promise you your sales will dramatically increase, because everyone wants Hawaii. No one cares what kind of plane they're going to get on to get there. So here's some practical examples, and this is again just in the form of nutrition, but you can make them apply to you. So features of a program would be 6 weekly sessions, meal plans, video workouts, recipe books, a Facebook group, live Q&A calls, daily motivation. These have no emotion attached to them at all, and they actually have no value, right? There is no value attached to 6 weekly sessions. It's neither here nor there. But when you put the transformation onto it, when you put the benefit onto it, daily follow-along meal plans telling you what to eat and when, so you save time and don't stress over what to eat. Recipes that will leave your skin glowing and your tummy flat. Daily emails from me, so even when you fall off the horse, you know how to quickly jump right back on. So the reason that you may feel salesy when you're trying to sell a group program or just selling in general is because you sell the features instead of the value, right? We sell the sessions instead of the transformation, right? If you're giving PT consultations, for example, you probably were taught to focus on the goal, right? Is to always relate things back to the goal that the client wants. And just to give you another example for those of you who have personal brands, or even your gym brand work with me pages, you can see here that this person is personal training. So studio, 1 hour personal training, 3 sessions, program design. These are all features. This is not Hawaii. This is very much the plane. And it's going to be really hard to invite clients into transformation when there isn't any talk of transformation at all, right? This is all plain. So on the other side, this is Hawaii. Look and feel 10 years younger, drop weight, regain your health, improve your stamina, and get all-day energy in just 5 delicious minutes a day. No one wants to spend their retirement weak, frail, and sickly. That's very true. Discover how to shrink your waist, firm your thighs, and get toned, sexy arms in only 42 days using the easiest, most effective fat-burning secrets developed specifically for women over 40. So Tracy, this is more up your alley. So when you're thinking about your menopause for movement, this is the kind of Hawaii, this is the kind of transformation you want to be thinking about. The promise of transformation is what people are really buying from you. So anytime you think about inviting a prospect into what I like to call transformation, so whether that's your group program or your personal training program, your one-on-one program, I want you to think about the transformation first and foremost. And this is so, so, so incredibly important when you are thinking about creating group content. Because it's that, if you can't clearly communicate the transformation, especially because you're not, maybe not physically in front of the person all the time, it's going to be much harder to sell the program. So the promise of transformation is what people are really buying from you. So I want to just flip over now just really quickly, and then I'll make sure to leave some time for questions. But other than Tracy, does anybody else on here have an idea for their group program? I'm going to show you how to use Amazon to basically check the idea of your group program and also to give you ideas if you don't already have one. So does anyone want to volunteer their idea? No one's going to steal it. You don't need to be nervous.
Ken added right after Tracy, 30-minute high intensity, followed by
Oh,
30-minute meditation stress program. Brett has just put in a small group training for golfers with a high handicap, so improving their handicap in their golf game.
Okay, amazing.
I'll sign up for that one, Brett.
So I'm going to go to Amazon, and I'm just going to show you quickly how to do like a litmus test. So I'm going to take Tracy's idea, and I'm going to type in, actually I'm going to go into the book section. Dan, you can still see my screen, right?
Yep, see you great on Amazon.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go into the book.
I see movies.
Oh, yeah. Do you see that Joker face?
Yeah.
And the hockey playoffs? Okay. So I'm going to go into the book section, and I'm going to type in managing, if I could spell, that would be awesome, managing menopause through, wow, my fingers are not complying today, through movement. And we're going to look. So, okay, so that specific title didn't match any products. Okay, so now so that doesn't mean that it's like a horrible sign, give up on your idea, but now we're going to do menopause plus movement. We're searching to see the viability of that particular title or that sort of niche to see if the books are selling, right? So using Amazon to go and vet your idea really helps you with a proof of concept before you spend 3 months and a lot of money trying to get your proof of concept done. Okay, so I typed in menopause, and if you put a plus, it's helpful. So I'm trying to see if there's any books on managing menopause through movement or anything around that. So menopause, a guide for women and those who love them. And it doesn't seem to be, but let's try something else. Personal training for menopausal women. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to make sure that this idea scales, right? I want to make sure that when Tracy puts up her program, Managing Menopause Through Movement, that all the menopausal women flock to her and they understand exactly what it is. She might have menopausal women that she works with in her gym or private clients who love her and know her and like her and trust her. But when you're trying to scale a program, whether it's offline or online, we need to make sure that it's desired. We want to make sure that there's lots of other people selling that same thing, because then we know that it's a vetted idea, it's a vetted concept, and people are willing to pay for it. So it doesn't mean that menopausal women are not willing to pay for a program that's tailored to them. It just means we have to get the phrasing correct in order for the menopausal women, in order for it to resonate with the menopausal women, right? So the way that I'm typing it in right now here, weight loss for women over 50, menopausal years, the wise women way. Maybe the other way to do it would be training, and it's for, I'm going to type in senior women because I just want to see what comes up. So you can see here, not so much is popping up. The other place that you guys can go is ClickBank. And believe me when I tell you that it might be a bit disheartening when you don't see anything on here that's remotely close to the idea that you have. It doesn't mean that you should be giving up on your idea. It just means that you need to find the right way to sell it. That's all I'm trying to say to you, is that if for example, that Tracy put it up just like that, managing menopause through movement, just based on the results in Amazon, let's see in ClickBank what happens, that title in and of itself might not be the best choice in order to sell the program, right? Clearly, women need to increase their lean muscle mass, especially during menopause, because, you know, they all get fat, and they don't want to be fat. Weight training for menopausal women. And the reason that what I'm doing right now is so important is because I've worked with so many people who've created their group programs and they haven't done the market research, and they go and sell it and they don't make any sales, whether they sell it online or offline. And it's not because the program sucks. It's because they haven't done the market research to identify how to sell it so that it resonates with the ideal clients that you actually want to work with. So it's really important that you go into places like Amazon and ClickBank and look at the programs that are already being, look at the books and look at the programs that are already being sold for the idea that you have. If not that many are being sold for the idea that you have, then we need to reframe the marketing of the idea. It's not necessarily that the idea is bad, it's just we need to reframe how it's being sold, right? So here, Fit Over 40, fitness for women, fat loss programs for women, fibroids, cysts. So there is a lot of sort of very niche targeted programs. I just want to type in menopause and see what happens. The truth about menopause. The aphrodisiac secret. That's funny. My bikini belly. Yay, Shauna.
I think I know the author of The Aphrodisiac Secret.
Do you really?
I think so.
That's hilarious. So yeah, so even, like I type in menopause and the word menopause doesn't seem, which is interesting because I didn't expect this to happen, but the word menopause isn't pulling results on the first page. That says to me that you might not want to use the word menopause. You might want to use an age range instead, right? That's what that says to me in terms of doing just market research for this on ClickBank, where if the word menopause was included in the name of the product, it would pull results here, and it's not. And so that says a lot in terms of using that particular word menopause in the name of the product. And it's interesting because I didn't think that these results would be like that. It's very interesting. So there you go, Tracy. Brett says small group training for high handicap golfers. That's because our is ageist. Yeah, our culture and society is ageist, but I also want you to have great impact, and make lots of money. So we need to sort of make sure that the way that we're presenting our group program can be heard by the people that you want to reach, right? Thank you. That is incredibly helpful. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's awesome. So here, small group training for high handicap golfers. So for sure, we're going to pull results on Amazon for that. I'm just going to type in high handicap golfers, and let's see what pops up. And the reason, I didn't sort of get to this before, but the reason that I go to Amazon is because you actually want to see which books are selling the highest, just to give you, again, like another peace of mind for proof of concept, right? A unique body-mind approach to golf fitness, yoga for golfers. That's interesting. I feel like that would be a really big market, yoga for golfers. I don't know. I don't golf. So here, like, and again, these words, high handicap golfers, they don't seem to be in any of the book titles. I'm ignorant on this topic. I don't know even what like a high handicap means, really.
Basically, it means you don't. Basically, it means you don't golf close to par. The higher your handicap, the farther you are from a par. A par
and
golfer.
A par would be like the number of shots that it takes to get in the hole, right?
Right. Yep. Yep. So the higher the handicap, the worse golfer you are.
The worse golfer you are. So then it would be more like how to improve your golf swing? Is
Yeah.
that what
Yep.
that
Or
is?
how to lower your golf handicap.
Okay, let's do that. See, this is really important because the wording is so critical to getting people to understand what it is that you're doing. So if, and obviously a golfer wouldn't have to ask what that is, but if, for example, somebody has to say to you, well, what's that about? Then you've named your program wrong, right? It should be very, very clear how to improve your golf handicap.
Yeah.
Okay. See? There. So even just right there, using something like how to improve your golf score. I wouldn't use that to describe the book. Okay, perfect, Brett. But here's some, you want to look at what is selling the most. So the best way to do it is to go in. Let's look at the first one. Although that's from 2004, so whatever. You actually want to scroll down and you want to look at the number that it, where is it? Hold on. This doesn't, you want to look at the Kindle edition, sorry, my bad. Come on, internet. You want to see if it's under 250,000, selling under 250,000, or sorry, ranked under 250,000 in the Kindle edition. If it's ranked under 250,000 in the Kindle edition, then it's selling well. And so that's how you can go in and see if the books are actually selling well. And that's how you know that people are buying that specific title, that specific topic, if it's ranking under 250,000 in the Kindle versions. Because you know then it's being bought and downloaded many, many, many times. And so that's how you can even go and like find a name for your program, a headline for your program. You can even read reviews. So that one of the best ways to know what to include in your program, go and read the reviews of the top 5 sellers of the books that you actually want to create your program around. And go and read what people are saying, what's missing from those books, what they liked about those books, and that will help you put together such a concise program without having to actually go out and do the market research. Using Amazon to curate the content for your program is such a fast and easy way to make sure that you're on track with the content that people actually want and need. So go and use Amazon before you create your program because it tells you so much about what you should and shouldn't include, and also how to name your program as well. Same thing with ClickBank. You can see by like the top sellers, you know, go and read their sales pages, right? Do the market research so that you don't spend 3 to 6 months creating this program and not know how to communicate the transformation. So that brings me to the Q&A portion. I just also wanted to just throw a little shout out to Dan and the Functional Aging Summit. So those of you who already have your tickets, congratulations. But if you don't, I highly recommend that you go and grab your ticket now. I'll be there in addition to some other really cool people. And these are all the speakers. And I believe that there's a bonus. Dan, you want to help me out here?
Yeah, a couple bonuses we're offering folks. So we do have a Bring a Friend ticket for $99, as well as anyone who purchases it before the deadline, which I think is Friday, May 13th. We're going to give them all of 2015 video package, so they'll get that for free. So they'll get last year's event. So yeah, a couple bonuses. So if they want to bring a key employee, coworker, friend, business partner, $99 a ticket for additional tickets. So
That's amazing, and it's in Arizona, so we can all be comfortably warm together.
Probably a little chilly where you are today. It's cold here, so.
It is cold here. I mean, there's no snow on the ground, thank goodness, but I can't complain. I went for a nice walk this morning. So I hope really to see all of you guys at the Functional Aging Summit. Going to live events, I'll just share my experience in going to live events. So going to live events, first and foremost, it changed my life. 5 years ago, I sat in the Fitness Business Summit and listened to all of the speakers and really understood that I didn't know what I didn't know. And I really got an understanding that the success that I wanted was totally realistic for me. I just needed to surround myself with the people who were more successful. And I can tell you that even though you may attend webinars or maybe you go to some local events, putting the investment in and traveling and leaving your business for a couple of days to go and network and meet like-minded people and sit in a room where everyone's energy is totally coming together to grow their businesses and also change client lives is like nothing else. You can't get that experience on a webinar, and I highly suggest that you figure out a way to attend, because I promise you that in some capacity it will transform your life. There is no way that sitting in a room with 100+ people can't have an enormous positive impact on the future of your career. So I hope to hang out with you in Arizona. If you were on this webinar and you do come find me and say hello. And as Dan said, is it your early bird or the bonuses end on May 13th?
May 13th, yeah. May 13th is when regular registration ends, and
right.
and that's when, yeah, they would lose access to those.
Where can they go to get tickets?
They can go to functionalaginginstitute.com, and there's a big red bar that says join us June 10th and 11th at the summit. So pretty simple. Just go to our website, and
amazing.
If anyone has trouble finding it, you obviously can always reach out to us at contact@functionalaginginstitute.com, and me or Celia will get back to you directly.
Maybe you want to just type it into the chat so they can just click on the link and then head on over.
Sure. Yep, I will do that. I'll do that now. Anyone have any more questions for Lori before we close up? Those of you that are on live.
Don't be shy. I won't bite you. Okay, so if no one's asking questions, then I feel like it's safe to assume that you all have good ideas. I really hope that you go and vet them, though, and that you go and use Amazon and ClickBank to do that market research, because I promise you it'll save you a lot of stress and a lot of energy as you put your group program together. It's a quiet bunch today.
Yeah, I think they must have got their questions answered as we went. So
awesome.
You were answering them on the fly. So Tracy says she looks forward to meeting you.
Oh, are you coming to the summit in Arizona?
She must already be registered, or she's planning to register today. I think Tracy's already registered, actually. She was there last year. So.
Sweet. Absolutely, she says. Are you not going to address live classes? Janice, in what capacity? The format actually is the same. So the way that I teach people how to create group programs, and I actually will be addressing this in substantial detail at the Functional Aging Summit, but what I want people to do is create a system. So it doesn't matter if you run the program online or offline, in a one-day workshop, in a 2-hour webinar, you have a system for how you work with your clients, right? You have, in a workout studio, okay, so you have a system. So what is your idea? I just need to make this personal to you just because it's so much easier for me to explain that way. So what's your idea for a program, Janice? I'll just wait for you to type it in.
We need some Jeopardy music.
I was just thinking that. I was like,
come on, Janice. Come on, Janice. There we go. Interested in teaching group fitness to seniors. Okay, great.
Okay, so that's, I think, different. I wasn't necessarily talking about a group fitness program. However, there's a huge market if you come up with a system. Janice has this signature system that she, let's say, sells in a 12-week program, right? It's a 12-week program that teaches group fitness to seniors. And let's say that the first 3 classes are teaching them basic functional movement, and the next 3 classes are teaching them this, whatever it shall be, and then the next 3 classes are teaching them the next progression and the next progression. You're not just randomly holding group fitness classes like aerobics, like they're not random. It's a protocol, it's a progression, it's a system that you can film and teach people online, that you can run with seniors in a studio, that you can do it out of your backyard. Like, you need to have a repeatable system that you can take on the road with you. People want to know the system that you have. It helps them to feel safe. It helps them to feel secure, right? So if you walked into any, let's say, like, any sort of high-end retirement center and said, hey, look, I have this 12-week program that, is geared for seniors who have X, Y, and Z, and here's the outcomes that they're going to achieve after going through this 12-week program. What's the transformation, right? What's the value to having these seniors go through the program? And then let's say you're talking to like the retirement center, and you say, yeah, and this is my system, and we're going to teach them this, 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 and this through these group fitness classes. That's a system, right? It's the lack of protocol, it's the lack of progression put into a nice, neat box that we were never taught, right? We were taught to do one-off things for one-off clients. And it's much harder to sell that way, but if you go in, you market the system, you market the program. You don't necessarily market Janice, because the program should stand on its own. And once you get 15 seniors through that program or 20 seniors through that program, you get the testimonials, and then you go to your next retirement center and you say, look, these were the outcomes. And then all of a sudden you have 5 retirement centers that you're teaching your signature system in, and now you have to bring on another trainer. And you can do that because you're teaching them how to teach your system versus just random group fitness classes. Does that make sense? I can't tell you I'm a senior and feel they can identify with me better than with someone in their 30s. Perfect. That's amazing. That's even better, right? That's such a unique, I'm unsure how to market the acceptance of my studio. What keeps many seniors out of fitness is the humiliation of performing in front of others in a group. Okay, then why don't you have a beginner's class? Right? Why don't you have a beginner's class where you're teaching them the fundamentals of whatever movement you're going to teach them, and have it marketed as seniors only, right? So they don't have to feel embarrassed. That's actually a good way during the day to have people come in. And maybe this is where you market it, and you go out into the community and you contact these retirement centers, and they bring the seniors to you, right? They bring them into you, or you go, or you network with other sort of like assisted living places, or book clubs, or card clubs, or like nonprofit organizations, and you say that you have fitness classes just for seniors. Maybe you already do that, I don't know. But the whole point is to have this program, this system that you can then market, that is specific to the type of people that you want to reach. So it could be, easy fitness for seniors, or beginner fitness for seniors. and it's a 6-week program, right? And you put 6 or 10 or 12 seniors in a room, and you're teaching them the beginner functional movements of fitness in a group setting, right? That's better than doing it one-on-one, for sure. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think what Janice is hitting on, we hear a lot of trainers hitting on how do I market my services, since obviously they're different and I don't want to get the typical fitness client. So I did respond back to you, Janice, and encourage you to watch some of our marketing concept videos on our YouTube channel where we talk about how to market that aspect of your studio, because fear and uncertainty and uncomfortableness is a big one for especially women over 60. And so you have to be communicating that really well, that you understand that, so those women feel like you are speaking exactly to their pains and fears with their fitness experience.
Yeah.
And because then they'll just absolutely know, like, and trust you, right? The fact that you're their age is an advantage, but you still have to communicate that you understand their fears of even setting foot into a fitness center. So once you get over that hurdle with them, then, oh boy, look out, let the floodgates open up.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what I was saying about Hawaii and about the transformation, right? In order for you to clearly communicate the transformation, you need to know what the fears are. So you can say, you know, the next time you step into a fitness class, or, you know, you have to step up onto a set of stairs or step down a set of stairs or something like that, you will feel confident in your body. Like it takes a lot of time and energy and effort to really sit down and go, okay, what are the fears of these women or men? You know, how does that show up in their life? Like, how is not being able to get up off the floor without assistance ruining their self-esteem? You know, what if I could transform that for them? How would that make them feel? Right? You have to really ask yourself those questions specific to the people that you really want to work with. Awesome. Well, if nobody else has any other questions.
Yeah, well, Lori, thanks again so much for sharing all your great insight, and really looking forward to your presentation at the summit. And again, for those of you listening to the recording, we strongly encourage you to join us in Phoenix, June 10th and 11th, so you can meet Lori, have lunch with Lori, and you know, pick her brain even further, because I know she's coached a lot of people through this process. So thanks so much, everyone that joined us live, and for those of you grabbing the recording later, remember functionalaginginstitute.com, and you can get registered for the summit and grab some of these great bonuses. So thanks so much, Lori.
Thanks, everybody.